Do you sometimes feel like a ball of stress, anxiety, overwhelmed, angry, or even rage? If so, this week's episode is for you. I'm Siobhan Barnes, and I support career women to realign their ladders against the right wall so they can do meaningful work that matters to them and to others. Now, these emotions that I just mentioned, stress, frustration, anger, rage, these can be seen as quote unquote negative, undesirable, unwanted, something to be fixed, something to be diagnosed, and in some cases, medicated. And yes, in some cases, that is absolutely necessary. And in some cases, these emotions are just part of a human experience and part of what it means to live in the world today. We live in a world which is busy, which is overwhelming at times. We've got information coming at us left, right, and center. And unless we know how to handle all that's coming our way, it's very easy to tip into these quote unquote negative emotions. So if that is you, I invite you to just cut yourself some slack and know that you're not broken, there's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing that needs to be quote unquote fixed. All you really need to get started are some tools, a reframe of mind to know that you're perfectly normal as you are. I actually believe that the goal in life is not to be quote unquote happy all the time. Let's be honest, things happen in life which aren't going to make you happy. Loved ones may pass away, you may lose a job, you might get into an argument with somebody. There's so many different things that can happen. And so to always be chasing happiness, I think can be a real setup for failure because it's not going to happen all the time. And if we can look at these emotions that we can have, happiness and joy and love and gratitude at one end of the spectrum, being the lighter end of the spectrum, and the darker emotions on the other, frustration, anger, overwhelm, etc., and we can see them to be just simply one end of a spectrum without the label of good and bad, then we can step back and dissociate from having to be so attached to be one thing and making ourselves wrong if we're not. The analogy I like to give, particularly when I'm working with my clients with more of this feminine embodiment, emotional work, is that when you can subscribe to the philosophy, which I personally believe, which is that the goal is not to be happy, the goal is to stay centered to who you are, what matters to you, and living in integrity with your values, like I believe that is the goal, then you can actually dance with these emotions and with the challenges and situations that come your way. The analogy I give is like the ocean floor. You are that ocean floor. It stays the same. It's rock solid. It's steady. And the waves above are your emotions. One day it might be cool and calm and smooth sailing and be those lighter emotions. The other days it might be rageful. It might be a thrashing storm. You may be angry. You may be rageful. And that's okay. It's just simply a part of the process. Obviously, taking into account that you're not taking it out on other people. So just that important caveat. But that's really what you want to get to, dropping into that steady center that is you, knowing that your emotions are just something that you need to flow through. So how do you do that? How do you actually let yourself flow through an emotion and not stay stuck in that cycle of anger, frustration, or whatever it is so that it builds and gets worse? I did this and I'm very passionate about this because when I was working in my corporate job, I used to ignore these emotions. I would stay busy and overwork so I didn't have to feel. I would armor up, I would numb against that deeper feeling inside of anxiousness, of frustration, of depression, of feeling just miserable. Because I didn't want to feel it. It wasn't comfortable. And the way that I flowed through to the other side was to let myself feel what was going on and to be honest about that. So if that is you, if you're in that state of negativity and that funk, I invite you to do a couple of things. Number one, let yourself feel what it is that you're feeling. Stop the doing, stop the distractions, let yourself feel and just let go. And as you do, ask yourself this one question. What else? What am I feeling? Feeling angry. What else? I'm feeling frustrated. What else? I'm feeling stressed. What else? I'm feeling annoyed. What else? I feel like I'm on the wrong path. What else? And keep asking that question until you circle back to the truth. And you'll feel that it might start to shift. You'll feel your body relaxing because you've allowed yourself to feel it. And then the third thing that you can do is ask yourself, is this really true? Is it really true that you're not good enough? Is it really true that people at work are talking behind your back and saying you're not good at your job, or whatever the case may be? And quite often you'll probably come back to the truth that actually it's not true. But you'll have given your body the ability to express, and you can flow through to the other side. So I would love to hear from you. What is it that you're currently struggling with? What do you believe to be true about yourself? What is it that's causing you the most frustration and angst? Leave a comment for me below, and I would love to support you there. So just remember, these negative emotions are not forever. There's something to flow through. And if you ever need any support with feeling these emotions, make sure you reach out to someone to get support, because you don't have to go it alone. This is part of the beauty of life. You get to connect, and sometimes getting help can be the best solution. So I'm sending you so much love and wishing you a beautiful week.